What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with what's next for Petr Yan following UFC 323 win. Last night, the MMA community witnessed one of the long-awaited rematches between Merab and Petr Yan. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Many of you have already seen our recap video after the event, so we won't bore you with all the details. But in short summary, Petr Yan put on an amazing performance. From defending Merab's takedowns to landing some nasty body shots, everyone can agree that Petr Yan came ready for this rematch. As for Merab, you can't take anything away from him. He was one of the most active champions we've ever seen, and we need to give him credit. During his Octagon interview, Merab revealed that he was trying to not make the fight boring, so he decided to go toe-to-toe with Yan, then went on to ask for the rematch. So this leaves us with what's next following UFC 323. Following the fight, Petr Yan was asked about a trilogy, and he took the opportunity to make fun of what happened during the press conference. He said the following: "I think Merab should get the boys, get into the jacuzzi, think about it, then we'll see." And when asked about what Yan plans on doing next in the division, he said, "It took me too long to get here and to get what's rightfully mine. There's definitely going to be a defense. It doesn't matter who." As for Merab, he actually ended up releasing his first statement on social media shortly after the bout. Merab wrote, "Tonight wasn't my night, but I will be back stronger than ever. Thank you everyone for your support."
I am in the hospital with my brother Aljamain Sterling, and then my brother drinking his Funk Harbor rum, and I'm on the phone with my mother. Dedico, quick, আমার জবাক ইংলিশ সুরাত কাই কে খুতনে خودت কেনা চলে দিদি میخوال خردم ابا কারগت ولا پری خوتیان زیاده دی.
As for the UFC's president, Dana White, he shared his reaction to the bout during the post-fight press conference. Dana praised Merab following the loss.
One of the toughest fighters that I've ever come across. And let's just say, Merab and I didn't get off on the right foot early on. I have nothing but respect for him and everything that he's accomplished. And yeah, and for Petr to come in and do what he did tonight. And I mean, the body shots and the head shots and the wrestling. I mean, it was an incredibly high level fight that was, you know, what a hell of a way to end the ESPN era.
Arman Tsarukyan fires back at Paddy Pimblett's comments. On Friday, we had the UFC hosting a seasonal press conference for the upcoming fights in 2026. As UFC 324 is right around the corner, Paddy Pimblett made an appearance at the press conference and had interviews afterwards. During one of his interviews with Full Send MMA, Paddy decided to go off on Arman Tsarukyan. Paddy roasted the past opponents Arman has beaten and even went as far as to say he didn't beat Charles Oliveira. Then Paddy went on to criticize Arman, saying he has a tendency of ruining main events. Of course, he mentioned the Makhachev situation, and he also mentioned how he almost ruined the main event for UFC Qatar by headbutting Dan Hooker at the weigh-ins. Ultimately, Paddy is just trying to say Arman is a liability to the UFC.
Well, Dariush looks about 65. You know what I mean? He's got a full head of grey hair. He beat Dariush. He didn't beat Charles Oliveira. A lot of people didn't think he won that fight. On his way out of the cage, he punched the fan, got banned. UFC probably had to pay a big fee for the fella not to sue him. He then got his title shot and, "Oh, I've got a bad back." Got beat by back pain when really he probably just couldn't even make weight. Sits out for 11 months, then fights Dan Hooker, headbutts him at the weigh-in. No, so like nearly ruined another main event. Like, you can understand why he's not in that position. And as much as I like Dan Hooker, lad, he's sound. He can't grapple to save his life. He couldn't grapple if his Mars life depended on it, lad. If I had that guillotine wrapped up on arm, he's going unconscious. And if Dan Hooker's nearly guillotining you, you're shit.
Well, it didn't take long for Tsarukyan to see those comments on social media. Arman wrote the following on X: "I could talk about how you only fight senior citizens once a year, or how the UFC keeps giving you the easy road to that paper belt. But I'll say just one thing. If you ever find the courage to step into the octagon with me, there's only one outcome, the one you fear the most, where everyone finally sees you're a fraud. You can keep running your mouth. Just make sure you're not the one your pants in January. Like I said, the only thing that matters is when the octagon door closes. I'll be the one walking out with my hand raised, and you'll be the one getting helped out of the cage." As for the fight between him and Gaethje, Paddy said during the seasonal press conference that he's not going to disrespect him during the lead-up and showed nothing but praise.
Nah, I'm not going to make that stupid mistake James Vick did and call him Homer Simpson and get knocked the out. To me, he's a legend, lad, and I'm not going to disrespect him. It's as simple as that. I expect a war, obviously. Justin Gaethje's one of my favourite fighters to watch. He's your favourite fighter's favourite fighter, and It's going to be a pleasure to get in there with him. I'd love to have a brawl for 5 rounds. Hopefully, I'm getting a performance bonus and a fight of the night bonus.
Are you excited for Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje? Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And while we're talking about Arman and the whole lightweight situation, Dana White talked about it during the post-fight presser. Last night, Dana revealed that Arman needs to work his way back up for the title.
And last thing on lightweight, Arman Tsarukyan, obviously the odd man out now. We expect Ilya to be unifying against the interim title winner, which would, make a long runway for his title.
I wouldn't say that he's the odd man out, He had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen. We had a little we were talking back in my room tonight, and we were talking about all the crazy that's happened over the last 20-something years. But you can't do that. You can't get the opportunity, and then it can't end that way. So he's got to work his way back.
UFC getting sued over Dillon Danis altercation. UFC 322 last month at Madison Square Garden is where Dillon Danis was involved in a huge brawl that even stopped the live broadcast and had them turn around to watch the crowd. Well, in the brawl, Danis was jumped by about 7 guys from Dagestan, which included people from Islam Makhachev's team, like Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov and Magomed Zainukov. From the footage, it allegedly looks like Dillon was on the receiving end of an attack, but from rumors being spread around the internet, Dillon was actually the one instigating the attack by showing an AI video of Ali Abdelaziz kissing Islam Makhachev. Regardless, at the press conference for UFC 322, Dana White announced that Danis was banned from all future UFC events after the incident. Following all of that, Dillon's Misfits title defense against Anthony Taylor was canceled due to medical issues that occurred during the brawl. This brings us to Logan Paul appearing on Aiden Ross's stream and claiming that Dillon is gearing up to sue not only the UFC, but Madison Square Garden. And here's the thing, Logan thinks he's going to most likely win. This is interesting because Logan is actually suing Dillon Danis currently for Dillon's attack on Logan's fiancée, Nina Agdal. But anyways, not only is there clear footage of the brawl showing Danis being attacked by multiple men, but even if he was instigating the guys with a picture or video, or even if it was like Dana White said, and he was stealing seats, that doesn't give the other group a reason to physically assault him. On top of that, now that his bout with Misfits was canceled, he could receive compensation from that match on top of damages sustained during the attack if he wins the suit. Here's what Logan Paul had to say about the situation.
I would bet a lot of money that he is preparing to sue Madison Square Garden and the UFC.
Oh, he's gonna sue them?
Mm-hmm.
But why? Who's in the wrong there in that situation?
His argument will be that when he went to Madison Square Garden, he didn't expect to get jumped by 10 guys. If you notice, he's going through all the concussion protocol.
Now he can't fight.
He actually didn't show up to a deposition and blamed his concussion protocol.
Wow.
He pulled out of his fight, and so he's going to be able to claim damages if he has a real concussion. But he probably doesn't. But he's playing the game and is gonna very likely sue them and probably win.
What?
Yeah.
If Dillon were to sue both the UFC and MSG for the altercation, and he wins, Logan thinks he would make millions from it. Now, if this did happen, the UFC would definitely hate Dillon, and while he's campaigning to get signed to the UFC, it seems like that dream might be over after his ban. So in Dillon's eyes, suing them might be worth it, since he will never get a shot in the UFC. But then again, like Dana always says, never say never. What do you think of the situation? If Dillon sues them, do you think he'll come out with a win? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What's next for Joshua Van and Alexandre Pantoja following UFC 323? Last night at UFC 323, Joshua Van versus Alexandre Pantoja lasted an astonishing 26 seconds after Van lifted Pantoja's leg in the air and threw him to the ground, and the Brazilian's arm popped out of place. This ended the fight and made Joshua Van the undisputed UFC flyweight champion. People were speculating whether it was a shoulder dislocation or something in his elbow physically breaking, and even Joe Rogan was arguing on the air with the doctor's report saying he knows that Pantoja for sure broke his elbow. Well, Dana White came out at the post-fight press conference and revealed sad news about Pantoja, saying that it was in fact his shoulder that was dislocated, but no matter what happens, he doesn't see him coming back anytime soon. Dana also thinks that Joshua Van will defend his belt before Pantoja officially returns back to action. Here's what the boss man had to say.
Yeah, they popped his shoulder back in. I thought it was the elbow.
I did too.
No, it was not the elbow. It was his shoulder. And they popped it back in backstage, and Now they got to do, MRIs and check out the ligaments and see how it is. So we don't have a time frame on how long he'll be out. Listen, I'm no doctor or anything, but I don't see him coming back anytime soon. I think that there would be a defense before he comes back. I think he's going to need some time. The healing process and sometimes, or most of the time, I would say ligaments are worse than a break. He's got to come back from that, and then how long till he starts striking again and stuff like that. So yeah, there'll probably be a defense before.
A doctor on Twitter chimed in on the conversation and said that he believes Pantoja possibly fractured his humerus bone. He wrote, Pantoja may have suffered of left supracondylar humerus fracture due to an indirect mechanism, fall with the elbow and extension and actual force transmitted from the hand. Foosh. First, he receives the impact on his carpal bones, whose force is transmitted to the distal humerus. Pantoja broke his silence on the injury on Instagram, posting a picture of himself in UFC gear with the caption, I've been through worse. I'll come back even stronger. You can be sure of that. Thank you for the messages. He also posted a video explaining the whole situation and said that he felt a first-round knockout and it's still his octagon and his belt. But he gave props to Joshua and said that it was his destiny to win the belt that way. Here's what Pantoja had to say.
Hello guys, that's what happened, accidents. When I go to the UFC today, I think I'm having my best shape of my life. When I see Joshua out the other side of the octagon, I believe I can finish him in the first round. That's what I try to do. Best camp of my life, best catch weight, best everything, I feel so comfortable in the octagon. That's my octagon, that's my belt. That's everything I did in my life, in my whole life to that moment, And Joshua just came and win this belt. I talked with my wife about that, it's not just about myself today, it's about Joshua, Joshua, that's his destiny to win this belt tonight. And he just can win this belt with my injury today, And I talk with God gave him the message. And I really believe in God and all the message. I pray a lot. And I want to work very hard. I work very hard all my life. And I'm going to work again. And I'm going to take my belt again, I really appreciate all the message. Everybody know about myself. Everybody understand I'm a very respectful guy. I respect first my family. Then everything, I'm never going to say bullshit about anyone. I just want to work very hard and bring my belt to my home again, Appreciate everybody. Tomorrow, fly back to home. Monday, I'm start to follow my dream again. Thank you so much.
Joshua Van also came out on the post-fight press conference and gave his thoughts and feelings on the whole situation and didn't want the fight to end that way. He also said that he would run it back with Pantoja once he's healed from his injury. Here's the clip.
And like I said, it was this whole week, it was I knew I was going to win the fight, but I didn't want the fight to end that way for sure. And as soon as he's recovered, man, I want to run it back, just because I respect him so much. He's one of the greatest of all time and things like that, so I do want to run it back with him.
Does it matter who you face next, knowing that you want to face him eventually?
I would say it don't matter, but like I said, man, I feel like he deserved it, you know what I mean? So whatever the UFC want is what I'm going to do next, but I do want to run it back with him for sure.
And that'll wrap up our video today. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss a video. We'll see you all tomorrow.